Hey everyone, welcome to Limitless Radiocast, episode 108. Chad and I are hanging out with our good friend Jarrett Troxler. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt under Chad Kuhn at East Coast Martial Arts, as well as recently a Division II Ohio High School state champion with the Massillon Tigers. Jarrett's a great guy. We get into all kinds of great conversation about how Jiu-Jitsu has helped him in his coaching, day-to-day operations. We talk about all kinds of organic things, man. So you guys just throw those headphones on, turn that volume up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, this show is also being brought to you by Global Auto Detailing, located in North Canton, Ohio. They have interior services, exterior detailing services, complete detail services. You can get monthly memberships. You got to check these guys out. They are great at what they do. Warpath 55, located in Massillon, Ohio. Lanky Fight Gear. OldBonesTherapy.com. Thomas Webb of D. Hoff Realtors. Candry Law LLC. Magic City Brewing Company. M&H Beans Coffee Company. Ronald E. Butler Tax and Accounting LLC. Limitless Tape. Listen, guys, these are our sponsors and they help us tremendously each and every week do this show. So we ask you guys to support them as much as they support us. Now enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. So Chad and I are hanging out with our really good friend Jarrett Troxler, aka Trox. So Jarrett is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt under Chad Kuhn at East Coast Martial Arts, and also a now Division II state champion of the Massillon Tiger football team as an offensive coordinator. Jarrett, is so awesome, man, for you to hang out with us. I know we talk the show and we talk a lot of things. We talk football throughout. He's also a high school phys ed teacher during the day and, you know, savage at night, getting on the mats. So
yeah.
Jared, what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Oh, you know what? Before
thank
anything,
y'all for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I completely messed this up because this is typically what I might do if my brain starts misfunctioning. So I got this shirt on. Warpath 55. Check them out, guys. Warpath55.com. It's an awesome local place located in Massillon, Ohio. There's an awesome story behind it about Coach Stu. He was the first strength and conditioning coach for Massillon, Ohio football. And they have great stuff. And Chad and I have a lot of gears, thanks to Trox, that we wear occasionally on the show. So just wanted to shout out to those guys. Thanks them for all the support and everything. And I want you guys to go out there and support them too. Go out there and buy. They have great sweatshirts, feel great, hoodies, t-shirts, have great slogans about being, you know, different things. Trox probably knows the phrases off the top of his head. But anyway, I want to throw that out there. So Trox, yes. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I don't know about a savage, but I'm getting there on the mats. But yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, dude. How's it feeling on the mats? I mean, how you been feeling? I know, you know, football season obviously just ended, and you know, I was in the same boat, you know, just obviously way youth or not at your level. But you know, getting back in the gym, getting more back acclimated, has it been a little difficult or has it been fine?
No, it's been great. You know, I've been really focusing on being half guard bottom. I talked to Chad about it the other night. Kind of felt like I've been not very good there. So I've been focusing on that past 2 weeks and trying to roll with a purpose when we do roll, and get myself in situations where I'm on bottom and having to fight my way up and having to figure out a sweep. And, you know, I'm actually getting better at something. But, you know, the cool thing about, you know, really, I didn't really stop training during football season.
Yeah, you were still going in and doing like comp class and stuff on Saturdays and stuff, weren't you?
No, I wasn't doing comp class because of film study, but I was coming every Monday. Wednesday is kind of my groove during the season, just because I need that extra day of recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't stop training or working out during football because you know, because of stress. I mean, when I go train jiu-jitsu, you know, it helps me get through the football season.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you know, I get out there on the mats. Sometimes I'm tired, but I get out there and get going. Maybe I had a stressful day at practice or whatever, but you know, I forget about all that once I start training, and I can just sit down, chill, watch Chad show us some drills and do some drills, and then, you know, get murdered by some of those guys in there, and then walk out of there feeling great.
Yeah.
You know, so the training didn't drop off, but it's picking up now. I'm starting to get back into comp class.
Good.
Looking forward to going in tomorrow and, you know, amping up. I've got my mind set on compete my first blue belt tournament at some point this spring.
Nice.
So I'm going to start ramping up the training here soon. So
yeah. That's good, man.
I think you said,
go ahead, Chad.
sorry to, yeah.
No, you're good.
Trox said something good there that I've been trying to convey to people is doing things with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a grip, have a purpose for that grip. If you're in a, if you don't consciously make that effort, like me rolling with you two or anybody really, I'm always going to take the bottom position because that's what I like. So if I want to work on passing, I got to say, hey, Trox, I'm going to start on top. You're on the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to do that, or it's just going to be the same thing. It's going to go the same way every time. But trying to get more people to think about that, doing things with a purpose. Like when we do line drills and I say, get a grip, you better know what you want to do with that grip.
Yep.
If you're grabbing a sleeve and have no idea what to do with the sleeve, then don't grab it.
Don't grab it. Yeah.
Right. Like,
right. Yeah. And it's really helped me because the other night, I started figuring some stuff out and I started getting in deep half. Trace worked with me some on that, and Tim, and obviously, I didn't get on the bottom with Jay. Tried to stay away from bottom with him,
right.
But a lot of times we slap, fist bump, and I just sit down and because I want to be on the bottom, I want to make it hard on myself to try to earn that sweep and earn the right to get up and try to pass. So that's really helped me.
And half guard is awesome. I mean, when I first started trying to learn that, because I got comfortable down there, I was like, well, I'm kind of getting smashed and I'm kind of down here. I'm older, I'm a little slower. So I'm going to do the same. Like I did that same mindset. It was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to learn this half guard. And I started getting deeper. And then Klingerman came in and, we did a seminar with Klingerman and he showed some deep half, kind of rollout stuff. And Kandri is really good at deep half and Trace has become really good at deep half. And, I would tag Chad and, ask him like, hey, who would be good to like talk to people about that? Or like Rowan, he would pick the guys out that were in the gym. I was like, hey, these guys are decent at doing that. They can really help you with certain things and getting that sweep and earning your way up to the top. Now that I came back, I'm kind of like, I don't want to be on the bottom right now because I can't breathe. So I'm like, I want to be on top.
It sucks sometimes, but sometimes you got to embrace that suck. Go through the suck. So it makes you better.
It's a lot easier. Sometimes it's easier to rest on the bottom though.
It is. You can sit down there, which I find myself doing this now, like if I get on the bottom, I will relax to try to get my breathing under control. And I know I'm doing it for a purpose because I'm trying to get back to that same thing. But you could be very lazy down there and just not work, not try to get your hips out and not try to move what Chad's saying. 100%, man. And I will think this, like I was rolling with Brian last week and I thought, dude, you got to move. Like you're just laying here. Like in my own head, I was like, you're not doing anything. You're just laying here. Like move your hips, man. Try to get out of here. And then I, kind of snapped out of it and started moving a little bit and stuff like that. Yeah. You have those times. So
Chad said a key word, purpose. And I think that anything you do, coaching football, we don't just go out there and say, all right, we're going to practice.
Right.
We do a practice plan. We do, scripts. We plan out details, what we're going to do to try to get better. And if you just kind of, sometimes you just roll and see what happens. There's nothing wrong with that. But, if doing some things, trying to be purposeful and get better at certain things, I think it's important.
Yeah, 100%. If you're not doing that in anything that you do in your life, you're failing yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and as a coach, Chad, obviously jiu-jitsu coached long time. He knows the same exact thing. Jared, you've coached for years. I've coached. It's interesting because you hear outside people and they just don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, why would you not do this without purpose? Like, why would you not push? Why would you just, do it at the very minimal? I don't know. I'm probably bad at this too, saying this, Chad, because I'm an all-in person like yourself.
Yeah. I think it's different things though. Like you can take some chances in jiu-jitsu and play with some things, but like Jared coaching football, we're all in with purpose to win every week. Right. Not that we don't want to go win tournaments and stuff, but it's a little more like, if I lose a jiu-jitsu tournament, it's not that big a deal.
Sure.
But
right.
If you lose that week, it's just one, you know what I mean? Now you're playing catch up.
Yeah. It's
or you're out of the playoffs or whatever the case may be.
I've learned that. I've been lucky throughout my career to work at football programs where it's really important to win, and nobody in Massillon wants to hear why you lost to McKinley.
Right. No, you're 100%
there's no
right.
excuses.
Yeah.
And so that mindset, and also, and this is true in football too. You can't be scared to fail either. And I think in jiu-jitsu, when you're in training and if I tap 10 times one night, it's no big deal. We're just training. Why not go for, I got to miss on 1,000 arm bars before I finally get one, and it's the same way with anything, that you do. You're going to fail. So just keep trying, keep working, and keep failing, and you're going to get better.
Right. And that's if you enter with that mindset, which, I know Jared, both and I, we started jiu-jitsu later in life versus, like a 20 some year old walking in the door. And Chad has credited this to me saying this before, and I really take it to heart. And I think about this. He's like, you were older, you were more, experienced in life. Like you had different priorities. You were mature. Like I walked in okay with failure. I walked in going, cool. Like, did I fight some things in the beginning, and do I still now? Yeah. Cause I want to see if I can get out of them sometimes. But if it's beyond that, I'm not being stupid. You know what I mean? Like I'm tapping, we're moving on. Like I'll tap 100 times. Doesn't matter. I'm okay with failure because I know it's only going to make me better. Where I do believe like what Chad's talking about. And Jared, you got to know this too, just from coaching young athletes. There's a lot of ego there still. It's very hard at a younger age to beat that ego out of somebody and to get
a lot of ego. And I've never been an ego guy ever. Maybe a little bit, I guess. I don't know, but when I started training jiu-jitsu, it ripped every ounce of ego I have out.
If you had any of doggone,
I used to be, I used to be a high school football player, and always been tough, and always lifted weights and then, play college football. But then, you get out there on the mats and you think you're pretty tough. You think you know what's going on. And the next thing you know, some dude that's 150 pounds has you wrapped up in a rear naked choke and you're tapping. You don't even know what happened.
Right.
So it's done. It's done so much for me in my life. I wish I would have started younger, but hey, I'm here now. So
that's it. Same thing Chad says all the time. It's like, look, you could still not be here. You know what I mean? You could still not be doing it. Like, I think that sometimes I think, man, I could be so much better at this, if I started so much earlier. But then I also think, what? Maybe you wouldn't have stuck with it. Maybe you weren't mature enough. Maybe. I
mean, not to sound corny, but it's that ripple in the pond. If you would have changed one thing, right? Like I used to say, oh man, I wish I would have wrestled. I really wish I would have wrestled. Yeah. But if I would have wrestled, would my guard game be what it is now? Probably not. Maybe, it'd just be different. So that one little thing might have changed my whole path of jiu-jitsu and learning differently.
Exactly.
And, so.
And would you ever gotten to jiu-jitsu? You never know.
Well, maybe not. Who knows?
That's right. What I mean. You just don't know.
Right. So, you don't know. So
it's funny. I'm trying to think what made me think of, I kind of got out of shape there for a little bit in my mid 30s because I was busy. I was a head football coach in Georgia. Life was just crazy. My boys were just born, and then we moved up here and grinding through that. And then about 2018, 19, Stu was like, dude, you gotta go, man. Let's get going. And I started strength training with him and got in great shape. And then, I was always reading and listening to Jocko's podcast and kept saying jiu-jitsu. And I was like, let me give this a try. He's always talking about how great it is, and just fell in love with it, Yeah.
That's what happens. You get hooked.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but I do believe more people who played sports in their, it may be easier to hook versus someone that's like Chad. What was your biggest hook? Cause this is different for you. I know you didn't play sports. I know.
No, but it was in martial arts my whole life.
But you were in martial arts. So it was kind of like a chain of a connection of something there. You know what I mean? Like
I think for, ex-athletes, and like military people too. I think they can get hooked on it because of the family aspect of things, and always having somebody having your back and that kind of stuff. So for me, it was just a continuation of martial arts and wanting to learn more.
The family thing's huge in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It is. Well, and it's also a sense of team.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's something that it's kind of hard to explain, that feeling you get when you've trained really, really hard and you're walking off the mats and, you know, everybody's smiling, everybody's in a good mood. Yeah, it's just nothing better. It's also made my life a little better because, you know, like tonight, you know, I got a little basketball game at friend's church with my son, but
okay,
you know, I can't, you know, I got to come home and go to bed, and get some sleep because I got class in the morning.
Sure.
You know, and it kind of squares away your life too when you start doing jiu-jitsu.
It helps you with discipline. You know, a little bit more, a little bit different. You
start thinking about those.
You do.
You know, do I really want to drink these 6 beers on a Friday night when I have to train the next day? Do I really want to eat this for dinner when I'm about to go train? I need to hydrate today because I'm going to train tonight, and it really does square away your life.
Yep. I was really good when I first started. And then I got in a really bad habit. I put on a lot of weight. And recently, obviously starting the new year, I knew I was going to get back into training. And I was like, that's it, man. Like I'm back. Like I'm going back 100 miles an hour, back to eating right, you know, doing the right thing, being disciplined the way that I was for years and just trying to stay. And I feel better already. And I'm already, you know, losing weight and feeling much better. And I credit it to, I know what it takes then also to be there. I know what kind of discipline that takes because I know I don't just want to be like we were, you know, talking earlier about being on the bottom. I don't want to be that guy just laying there. I want to move. I want to remember the times when Chad used to yell, Terry, you can't pass from your knees. Get up. You got to move. X pass, all that. I want to do that again. I want to feel that good and be able to move and breathe and relax and not be over, you know.
Well, and Chad said it last year too about us not using our age as an excuse. And,
right. 100%.
To go out there and train, you know, if you're, you know, and if you're good at jiu-jitsu, you're good at jiu-jitsu. You know, it doesn't matter your age. If someone's younger and more athletic, yeah, they can probably get a takedown on you. They can do some things. But if your skills are on point and you kind of know what you're doing, you can find something to get that collar choke, get that arm bar, whatever, you know. So, you know, with all that in mind, it's just, you know, you just got to keep training, train hard, and you know, it's a marathon too.
It is too. You know, it's not a sprint.
Sure.
It's a marathon. And that's the thing, like challenging yourself. Like I did this last week, you know, Chad kind of laughed at me, but I challenged myself with a younger white belt because I wanted to see if I would just relax, you know, and stuff. And I was like, oh gosh, he's super strong. Like,
it turned into a death match.
Right. Well,
I wasn't. The reason I was Stinson and I were talking off to the side, and we look over, and you're in this heated battle.
Yeah.
And Timmy's like, no wonder Terry's tired. Like you're just going to war.
Great.
Going to war.
Yeah, you need that every now and then.
And so you know, everyone was kind of like, dude, why'd you do that? And I go, because I have to challenge myself, and I want to see at times. I can go roll with you, Jared, Chad, learn stuff as we're doing it, have a good time, flow roll, work on movement, not killing each other, but, you know, give and take, but still working good moves, giving resistance. I can go against a white belt who is strong and I know what they're going to do. I know that they're going to come at me because they don't know any better. They don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're a higher rank than me. Crap. You know what I mean? Like you're going to destroy me. Yeah. And it's like, I want to work on a move. I want to actually see if I can get this move. And I did that. And I felt relaxed, calm. I just kind of relaxed and was breathing. And I was like, oh, this is not so bad. I mean, young man, super strong. He's a great kid. I hope he continues to do this and stays with us for a very long time. But it was good. It was good to walk away with that challenge. And like you said, I think you have to challenge yourself once in a while, being smart too, because there is the fine line at my age. Not that I want to use it as an excuse, but I also don't want to get hurt either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to know your body.
Yeah, Chad's been very much always in my ear about being smart. Don't get hurt.
Well, you
based
know,
off
like
someone else.
Yeah, when you started coming back here the last 2-3 weeks or whatever, you were trying to roll back to back, and I'm like, dude, don't roll a match, roll around, take a round off, roll around, take a round off, or whatever that. Yeah. You don't have to go back to back and literally, pass out. Like get the defibrillators out.
I was there. He would joke with me and be like, do I need to get that off the ball?
Right.
I like going with I like going with Trace a lot because he's young and energetic, but he he rolls with a purpose.
Yeah.
And he's working on stuff. I'm working on stuff. But then there's times where he and I ramp it up, with about 2 minutes to go in the round, and we'll start scrambling a little bit and really start ramping up. But it's not out of control. You know? And so but I'm exhausted when we're done. And,
and he's
makes it even better. And he's not.
Yeah, and he's not.
He's smiling, ready to go another 10 minutes with somebody else.
Right.
Which is good. He's a good kid. Yeah. I mean, he's a good role too. Like he's good to roll with because he's experienced. Awesome. He has a lot of experience because he's competed a ton over the last several years, so that makes it good for you to be able to roll with him because he's going to show you, or he's going to give you some looks that you're not used to seeing in the gym based off just his experience of being in a competitive ring, a competitive mat, whatever have you. So
he does a great job.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad that's going well and you're feeling good and stuff. We always love to talk about that. I do want to ask you, man, how long did it take to settle in, like to that state championship? Now, was this your first state at a high school level in your career?
Yep. This was not my first one I coached in. This is the first one we've won. And
you've won. Okay. No, I knew it wasn't the first you coached in because last year you guys played St. Ed's too.
The year before I moved up here, we lost to Cartersville with Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback.
Oh,
and
okay.
We lost in the state championship. And so then I moved to Ohio and we go to semifinals my first year. And then we lose in 18, lose in 19 to Hoban, then LaSalle. And then we play again, Hoban, and lose again, so we 0-3 at Massillon at state championship games. And it just was like, man, when are we going to get over the hump? And, it just and it sounds crazy, but from the first game of the season, after that game, I was like, I think we got a legit shot this year to do it. And it was a fun year. It was a grind, but it felt great. And it took a while to sink in. The game was so close, such a crazy game. And
it was like I watched it on streaming. It was like, oh man.
When it was over, it was almost like a big weight off our shoulders.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then it was, celebration after that. But,
you get that adrenaline dump. I mean, it's so intense. Anything, at a high competitive level, it's so intense. You're so tense and you're like it so
it's
bad.
Hard to explain too when you put so much into it. I mean, we the hours we put in, the kids put in, game planning and watching film and just hoping that it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I heard someone say just because you work hard doesn't mean you're going to be successful. But it gives you the best chance to be successful.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why you should work hard.
Yeah.
And success is, whatever you deem it is.
I was going to say it's success
but
can
doesn't
be
always
subjective.
mean you're going to win a state championship. But thank God we did.
Yeah, no, it was great, and you guys had a great season. Undefeated, won the state championship. A lot of great athletes on that team. Obviously, I had another connection, our friend, John Mazer, that coached my son in fourth grade tackle football first year, and I would always teach John.
He played for Urban Meyer.
He did. He played for Urban Meyer. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love his knowledge. He's great to talk to from a knowledge standpoint and just friendship in general. But what he knows about football and the way he looks at football and the way he coaches, it was awesome. Like my son would come home and go, "Can Coach Mazer coach me like forever now?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, buddy."
He is hands down best offensive line coach I've ever worked with. Hands down.
Yeah. He knows the stuff. I mean, I helped, obviously, just assistant, and I would, follow his lead or whatever he needed me to do, whatever he wanted me to do. And, people were like, no way you're going to get fourth graders to block like that or lead feed or anything. And that's why we were in the championship game at fourth grade and went, 8-1, lost by 6 points in the championship. But our kids blocked with purpose and they took pride in it. And like my son was the center and he took super pride in making sure he got backside backer or blocked anyone that was blitzing. Like he knew he loved it. And he was like, I credit that to him. Like he taught me how to.
And Terry's Mazer rubbed off on you. Terry's throwing out some backside backer, blocking back, throwing out.
Fortunately, I played football too. So fortunately,
okay.
yeah, I know. I played football. So wrestling, football. I didn't play basketball. I ran track. I played some baseball when I was younger, and then but I ended up focusing on football through high school, and that was
nice.
it.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
And my brother is a much better. He's 7 years younger than I am, but he's a much better athlete than I was. Like he was really. I wasn't bad, but my brother was on another level. He was very, very good athlete. So it's like, but yeah. I mean, that's awesome that you got to be around that and you got to experience that. I was so happy when you guys won because of you and John, because I know you guys, kind of on a personal level. And I was just like, thank God, like I wanted this for you guys so badly.
Yeah.
Just because I know how hard I think people, fans are fans. They always will be fans, but they don't understand what it takes to do what you guys do. They don't understand what it takes to coach people at a high level. I say this about Chad. I mean, Chad and I have had these discussions before about, he does everything he can to get everyone ready that's ever going to compete out of East Coast martial arts, East Coast Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it bothers him that he didn't do something right. And I'm not going to speak for you, Chad, but you know this. Like, if could I have done something else? Could I have gotten them a little bit better? You can only do so much, and then you have to send them out there. They have to to complete that task on their own. You can't do it for them. And I teach my kids this all the time. You know what I mean? Like I will do everything I can for you, but I can't be the person that's doing it for you. You know what I mean? And people outside, fans, they don't understand that. It's like death to you if you lose, and awesome to you if you win. They don't get. Go ahead,
man. I call the plays, so I got roughly 30 seconds between plays to decide what play to run, and believe it or not, every now and then I make a mistake, it's just funny because, if you run the ball, you should have passed the ball. If you pass the ball, you should have ran the ball. You're never right. And I learned a long time ago, you just got to ignore the noise and do what you think's best, what's best for the team. And, some people get all upset when they hear the fans, or go on like these message boards where they get behind these screen names and destroy you. Like, I don't even read that stuff. I laugh at it. You got to just, if you know in your heart that you've worked hard and you've done the right thing, you can live with the results. And a lot of times, if you do the right thing, the results come.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. If you stay in that grind, you don't waver from it. You keep pushing forward. You ignore all that noise, which, I'm a big proponent of coaching people that way. Like, you got to ignore the noise. Like my kids, obviously,
even in the lows,
yeah, even in the lows, you got to. That's really where you got to
really. That's when you really got to stick to doing things. Just trust the process. Yeah. And if you trust the process, you're going to come out a lot better. So,
every time.
A little bit of luck goes a long way too, doesn't it?
Because
we can't leave Lady Luck out of this either.
Injuries,
right?
Yeah, injuries. The ball bouncing your way, and you got to have good players. I'm a lot better coach when I got good players.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Let's look at any professional level or even colleges. Let's take college. Obviously, college is a lot different now. It's going to be forever changed with NIL and portal and stuff.
Portals,
it'll never be the same.
It's crazy.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you can go to roster player to player and look and say, oh yeah, well, they have great coaching already. Most colleges have really good coaching. That's why you're a college coach. You're not a college coach because you're terrible at coaching. I mean, people are like, he's terrible. I'm like, he's probably decent at better than you. You know what I mean? You could be good all you want, but he's probably better than you. That's why he's got the job, but you have to have good players too, or because you can't go out there and play for him. You're calling plays like you, Jared, like it's like, crap, I can't go out there and do it. I can't go out there and throw the ball for this young man. I can't go out there and run the ball for this young man. Like, you got to do it for me, man. I'm giving you the play. You got to execute it, and that's such a hard way. Yes. Being a coach, I'm fine with taking all the heat. I take it all than the players by any means at all. Because I feel, because it's for me to build them up, not for other people to tear them down.
And sometimes it works both ways. Sometimes I've made a terrible play call, And as soon as I call it, I'm like, oh God, I shouldn't have called that. And then, they break off for a 70-yard touchdown run and you look like a genius,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right.
Or you have a great call and the kid slips and throws an interception.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks it's on the cue. It could have been on the receiver not breaking out,
the receiver.
So it's
just so many things have to,
I mean,
everything has to line up.
Everything has to line up. I was going to say, especially with a team sport, like you said, injuries and how many people are on the team, and we haven't even talked about the pressure of coaching in Massillon, Ohio. Like, right? I mean,
that too.
That's a lot. That's big, man. I mean, it's football town.
The expectation there is, beat McKinley #1, and then #2 win a state championship.
Yep. Yes.
And that's every year.
They don't try to. We don't try to hide that. I mean, that's the
right. That's the mentality.
That's the expectation.
Right.
And if you don't like that, then maybe it's not the right place for you. And we embrace it and love it, and that's what we want.
And for people that don't know, most of our listeners are from the area, but when Jarrett talks about beating McKinley Massillon is the equivalent of Ohio State, Michigan.
There you go.
Right. I mean, that's the way it's viewed. And Ohio State's the same way. If you beat Michigan every year, we're happy, right? Like, of course they want to win a national title, but beat Michigan. That's the same thing, man. They're just on a high school level.
Before high schools.
Important.
Yeah, 100%. Before high schools were on ESPN, Massillon and McKinley used to be covered every year on that game. That was October. It's always an October game, right? Yeah. Yeah. October game towards the end of October. It was covered. ESPN would always cover that game. I mean, when I was in high school, that game was covered on ESPN. Like, they always had crews come in. That was always big time. Obviously schools have gotten different, Texas schools, Florida schools, they do the series now. You guys were on TV this year. You guys played I want to say the Georgia team was on ESPN, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I kind of look at it like before all these other schools were like Massillon and McKinley were like the known, but we also live in the state, the township, the area, Stark County, Ohio, where football was made here, man. I mean, that's why the Football Hall of Fame is right up the street from us. Football was where it was born. It's
cool. That game, coaching in that game is an experience I'll have with me for the rest of my life. It's just a cool day. We get up early in the morning. We go to breakfast. We go to church that Paul Brown went to and have a devotion. And it's Paul Brown's church. And then we go back to school, and whether we're playing at McKinley or Massillon, it's just a build up all day long. And like every hour, a big cannon goes off in town, and you can hear it. So it's just a countdown for the thing. And they used to do that back in the old steel mill days. They would fire a cannon off every time the Tigers would score, so the people working,
so they knew,
could keep up with the score of the game while they're working at steel mills. So that's kind of they still do that. So I thought it's so much tradition there.
Yeah,
so much tradition around that rivalry. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's an awesome place to go. So I took my 10-year-old son. That was his first big high school game, and you guys played Mansfield. And fortunately, it's always a good shout out to good friends like Troxler. It's always good to know people because we got tickets to the game. so Mazer, my man, took Archer, my 10-year-old, and he was like, we live in a different township. It's a neighboring township, but football's not as big here as it is over there. I will say that to the least. As Jarrett knows, Chad knows, and he's lived here. He knows this. But my son was like, what? Like, he was just blown away. Like, he was different. He was like, wow. He was like, and he'll joke to this day. He's like, I want to play football for Massillon. And I'm like, well, we don't live in Massillon, buddy. And he's like, I don't care. He was like, they really know how to play. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I get it, man. Like, he's an athlete and he loves sports, and he sees, he wants dedication and hard work. He wants everyone to work hard, even at this age. He's like, you should work harder. You should work harder. Like, I'm working harder. Like, I'm going to outwork you. Like, he'll say this to himself. He's like, outwork yourself. I'm like, oh God, you're 10, kid. I'm like, just calm down, buddy. You'll be all right. But
it's a quiet atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
we score a touchdown and it's like the 4th of July. They shoot off, a ton of fireworks every touchdown.
Every touchdown. It can be
it's cool.
50-0, in which the game we went to, it was, I believe it was like 40-something and nothing, I think. And every time.
Would it be wrong to say it's like a pro game atmosphere? I mean, because there's super fans, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's people. Yeah. It's like a pro atmosphere.
Yeah. It's definitely college, definitely awesome. Hyped college level up there. I mean, the fans are real. They're legit. I mean, every fan, there are no
camping
fair
out.
weather fans.
Yeah.
The fans of
tailgate.
Tailgate. Yep.
It's awesome. It really is a cool game day atmosphere.
Yeah, it's fun.
As a coach, and you can get wrapped up in there, look around, see all those people in the stands, and you just gotta dial in and say, all right, it's football. I gotta call the game. Got to focus on my job.
Yeah.
So
was that a hard transition? Was that a hard transition? So this goes back to when you were coaching in Georgia. I'm assuming Georgia was your first area of like high school coaching, right?
No, well, I got out of college. I went to Chowan University. It's right on the border of Virginia. I had an exercise physiology degree. I was gonna go to PT school. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. And I was done playing football, and I had to go back to school one more 6 hours to finish up my degree.
Okay.
So I stuck around, and I just went over to the local high school and helped coach, and loved it. I said, "This is pretty cool. I think I want to do this." So then I, got a coaching job in Virginia, and then I moved home to I'm from South Carolina, so I moved home to South Carolina and got a coaching job at my old high school, and I was there for a year, and it was just like, everybody knows me. It's a small town.
Sure.
I'd just gotten out of high school like 5 years before that, so I was like, man, I feel like this is just kind of, it's like I'm in high school still.
Yeah, you had to get out.
In a small town. Yeah. And I got lucky. The head coach, my head coach I played for, he had retired, but the new guy, Trey Woodbury, he hooked me up with Anson County, North Carolina is right on the border of South Carolina. It's a big time program, and it's kind of like a Massillon in North Carolina, and they were looking for a secondary coach, and lucky he knew the head coach there and kind of hooked me up, and
nice.
I went there, and we had a lot of success there, and then I ended up going to Georgia. A buddy of mine got a head coaching job down there and offered me to come down as offense coordinator. And I went with him because, frankly, teaching pay was terrible in North Carolina. so I went down to Georgia. Well, I met my wife, and she had moved home from Dublin, Ireland. She was working.
Oh, I didn't know your wife was from. Your wife originally from Ireland? Is that where she?
No, she's from. She's from Stowe, Ohio.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, I did not know this. This is new.
Her brother was living in Charlotte, and we met there. And then, so I'm moving down there, and she's like, I'm not moving to Georgia with my boyfriend. So then, had to go to the old jewelry store, and then we moved down there.
She was like, listen, son.
Yeah. And so we get down there, and I spent majority of my coaching career in Georgia. Mm-hmm. I was a head coach down there, and I was fortunate enough there too to work at some really good programs. So I had a little taste of it.
Okay.
And then I went to Thompson before I came to Massillon, and it was like Massillon. Like,
okay, so
the expectation is to win a state championship every year. We sold out stadium every weekend. So wasn't quite on the level as Massillon, but the expectations were. So that pressure kind of prepared me.
I was going to ask you,
about the doing Massillon.
Did that, obviously, your road to be where you are now is kind of great when you think about it. It's a huge blessing because you weren't just thrown into like at the top right away. Not that I don't think people need that, but you were groomed along the way. Like you had your smaller, you know what I mean? So you got to build that pressure. So when every time it was a little bit bigger, every time then you came to Massillon, it's whatever, I'm going to brag for Massillon because they're close and obviously you're there and stuff like that. Like it's the biggest, you know what I mean? Like I get it. People could argue and say, no, it's not, whatever, but that pressure helped you all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I went from being the guy that does the laundry and like paint the sleds and
Mm-hmm.
paint the fields and like, the jobs nobody else wants to do.
Right. Exactly.
I did all that and then just learned and learned and learned and learned and, just worked hard and got opportunities. And it's the biggest thing is it's like anything. You got to be where your feet are. And, if you're assigned a job, do the best you can do. Don't worry about like so many guys now, they get out of, they just want to be an offense coordinator right away or a head coach right away. Well, sometimes you got to just be a great position coach or be a great towel washer. If that's your job, do the best you can at it, and you're going to get more opportunities. And I just kind of always had that mindset, and it helped me along the way because, when I was a head coach, I knew exactly what duties needed to be done and where things needed to be, and it's just it has helped me. I kind of just kept going up and kept getting lucky on. I say I kept getting lucky on jobs, but opportunities just kept creating themselves. Because we always said, my wife always wanted to move back to Northeast Ohio, and I was like, man, it's got to be the right place.
Sure.
I didn't want to, no offense anywhere else.
Right, but that's what you were looking
schools,
for. Right.
But I wanted to be somewhere like Massillon, we got lucky. It worked out.
I think the path that you were, I'm going to say blessed to go through. Other people could disagree with that, but I kind of look at like you kept climbing. We talk about this all the time. Like I want to be great out of the gate. It doesn't work that way, man. Like it doesn't. Like hard work. Put the work in. Do not be humble enough to do anything within that world that you're trying to work your way up to. You know what I mean? Like you said, I'm a good towel washer, man. I don't want to always be a towel washer, but you know what? I'm going to learn as much as I can. I'm going to be really good at it. I'm going to make sure everybody's taken care of. And I'm going to get noticed and I'm going to keep learning. And then I'm going to keep pushing. And a lot of people don't want that. That mindset seemed to be something that either isn't taught anymore. It's not ingrained.
And it's not always fun either.
It's awful.
No.
It's awful.
Hey, it wasn't fun.
No, it never is.
One stripe white belt and just getting murdered every night, and I remember when I started jiu-jitsu, it was intimidating because you just don't know what to do. Like this guy's 100%. Grabbing you and you just don't know what to do. But being that beginner and just going through that, I think it just helped me. And that's kind of how I approach coaching. That's how I'm approaching jiu-jitsu now.
How did it feel that when Chad called your name and he put that blue belt around you and you were like, did it feel different? Because I went through this obviously, and I speak to this. I've spoken to it about the show, and it was on other podcasts and talked about it as well. You tell me what it feel like versus getting a stripe on your white belt, going through that trials and tribulations. Because this is a 2.5 year road that majority of us 2.5 to 3 year road that a lot of white belts go if you stay consistent. Three days a week, I'm going to go out there on a limb and say roughly you got to do at least 3 days a week in order to get to 2.5 year to 3 year mark of going to a blue belt. And you obviously got to be putting in time. You can't just come and lay around. I sound like Chad. Apparently Chad's, this is all the same. He's like, I don't even have to say anything. Like I've beat it in his head so badly. Like I just sit here now.
So, and before Jarrett answers, he trained at another gym before joining us.
Exactly.
So he was with us for probably about a year-ish before I gave him his blue belt.
Okay.
But
well, first of all, I was like, oh God, I just went from I felt like I was feeling pretty good at, a white belt. Like I was starting to get some subs and I just won a tournament in Pittsburgh and so I'm feeling good about myself. And then I go, oh yeah, here we go. And then now I'm just a terrible blue belt.
It's like, oh crap, I'm starting all over.
I don't know if, you almost feel like you don't know if you're ready for it. It's intimidating. Like, it's like, okay, now there's another expectation that's on me as a blue belt. And, it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was excited. It does feel good, and it's a day I'll never forget because I put so much work into it, and it was a goal of mine, but it wasn't like when am I getting my blue belt? I want my blue belt. I want my
Exactly.
blue belt. I didn't even work. I didn't even think about my blue belt. And you know, and when it happened, you know, it happens. You just go to show up and train. And
that's it. And the big
when
thing
it happens,
too.
it happens.
Yeah. And like you said, you're like, I don't know if I was ready for it. And the good thing is it doesn't matter if you think you're ready. That's it's the coach's decision, right?
Decision, yeah.
And you get stuck in that too, because I've had guys, you know, and we know other gyms in the area, and somebody will come up to be like, hey, do you see so and so got their purple belt? I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, it's up to their coach. You know what I mean? It's not my decision. He's not my student. It's whatever. And everybody has their own guidelines. So yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's different. You know?
Yeah, everyone's different.
It took me almost 3 years to get a blue belt.
Me too, man. Same.
But those white belt years were great.
Yeah.
You know, and if it would have took me 3.5 years, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
You know, it doesn't matter. You know, I got it now. It's kind of I don't want to say you just think about the expectations now, like you're expected to be a little better. And so it just, that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu, because you know, every belt, you know, you get to, it's just it's like starting over again.
Right.
And that's what makes it so cool. And, you know, obviously I want to be a black belt at some point in my lifetime. And
you will be.
That's a goal of mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I know it's not going to happen tomorrow, and it's not going to happen in the next 5 years. Right. You know, but you know, you can't think about it. You just got to go train and try to get better at jiu-jitsu and do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So, and you don't want to be just a okay purple. Like when you get your purple belt, that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu. You know, the mats don't lie. You know, you get on the mats. You know, it don't matter what color that belt is.
That's,
you know,
every time.
If you got a blue belt on, you better be a real blue belt. You know, or if you get, you know, you have a purple belt on. Well,
because you're going to get shown up. Right. You're going to get shown up.
There's definitely no hiding on the jiu-jitsu mats.
Yeah.
I mean, people, you know, outside people obviously ask all the time, you know, oh, you do jiu-jitsu because I wear, you know, my East Coast stuff around or whatever. Oh, I thought about doing that. Hey, come on in. You know, oh, I'm afraid or this or that. I'm like, just come in, man. I said, don't worry about anything else. I said, you should don't worry about trying to be good at it right now. I was like, just come in, experience it. Because if you start hinging your jiu-jitsu career path, however, or the martial art of jiu-jitsu on ranks, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You're not doing it to actually train in jiu-jitsu, because the ranks come, the more you train, the better you do. And obviously you go through those processes of, you know, once you get them, you want to be a little bit better. And sometimes you don't think you're ever going to reach that peak. However, if you're only thinking that, you're never going to get good at it, because all you're worried about is the color and not the actual technique you're trying to learn. You know what I mean? Like, you ignore all that. It's like, ignore the noise, just show up, train with good people, and get really good at this. And then eventually you're going to be like, crap, I'm kind of really good at this, you know,
and enjoy where you are,
and enjoy where you are.
Enjoy the moment you're in, because I'm never going to be a white belt again. And I enjoyed that time.
Yep.
You know, you're never going to be in that spot that you're in. And so enjoy it, embrace it, learn, you know, and I don't know. It's a lot of fun. My wife thought I was crazy when I first started. Her only thing was, you better not get cauliflower here. You know, that's all she worried about.
That's it.
About my knees or back or whatever. So I was like, well, I got one ear swelling up, and she's on me now about it. But
that's the same thing, man.
Hey, once it happens, you better start getting good at jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Then you just walk around cauliflower and suck at jiu-jitsu.
I would come home with marks on my face and stuff, and my wife would be like, what are you doing again? I was like, it's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And she's like, no, that's Fight Club. And I was like, no, we don't talk about that.
Terry used to lead with his face a lot more than he does now.
I don't lead with my face anymore.
He just lead with his face. On your feet, lead with your face.
Yeah, it was that wrestling habit of, you know, shooting in for double legs or shooting in and getting that head as close to the leg to suck that leg in. So, you know, I got guillotined a ton in my beginning, because I would put that head in and I was like, what the heck? And I'm like, oh, okay, I got to approach this differently. Like, I can't do that because for one, Chad would be like, stop leading with your head. I mean, I think like the first time I rolled with Chad, I headbutted him right in the face. Like, and he goes, well, there goes my modeling career.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember when
I've never wrestled or anything. I've never done any martial arts or wrestling. We didn't have wrestling in my high school in South Carolina. It just wasn't big. It wasn't big in that area.
Sure.
Yeah.
And, they just had, football, basketball, baseball where I grew up. And, I wish I would have wrestled, but I think I would. My son wrestles now. And but it's just an unusual thing, foreign thing to put your hands on someone else. And I loved it when I started it. So it is very foreign. Like when you walk in the jiu-jitsu gym and you're like, what? You want me to grab and throw you on the ground or get on top of you and then manipulate your joints and try to choke you and then grab this? And it is different, but you should just embrace it. Like just embrace it and go in and be like, oh, this is what it is. And then if you walk away and you're like, that's not for me, well then I'm sorry, but it is still the greatest thing in the world to me. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I do. I'm so thankful that I am back. This week sucked. Like my stomach has been it was bothering my youngest and I both had like this little stomach thing going on. So at first I was just like, I'm going to take it one day at a time. And Chad's like, I'll see you next week. I was like, no. But it literally, I was like, I don't feel the best. Like I better not do this. I better not go to the gym. So I've been kind of bummed all week too. Cause I was like, dang it. Like I was on a good, consistent basis. I felt really good. And now I had to go take a week off, which would suck. But I might come to comp class tomorrow too at 11:30. Yeah, we'll see if I can throw up, or I'll be the guy over to the corner, like, hey, you guys go ahead and go. I'm just gonna chill out for a second.
Yeah, I love comp class.
10-minute rounds tomorrow, Terry.
Is that what it is? Do you guys do 10-minute rounds?
Yeah, we do. Not all the time, but we do.
Crap.
But Logan put me Shark Tank me Shark Tanked all of us last.
Oh, did he? Last Saturday.
That's
what a jerk.
Yeah, that's rough sometimes.
Logan's a jerk.
But hey,
I know you're listening to Logan.
Yeah, he'll embrace that. He'll embrace that.
Yeah, he will. He stays on me.
Yeah, he does.
That's the other cool thing about jiu-jitsu is like a younger guy like Logan who's skilled and just really good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for him to be so young and to almost like coaching me up and kind of mentoring me through jiu-jitsu is just kind of cool. I'm 20 years older than Logan. How old is Logan?
24, I think. Almost 25.
Yeah, he's 24.
Yeah, I'm 20 years older than him, and I look up to him.
Yeah, same. I'm the same. Yeah.
And he coaches me up, and he helps me with some things. If I have questions and maybe Chad's not around, I'll ask Logan. And I just think that's cool because he's 20 years younger than me, and it's weird because not many other things are like that.
No,
I would say I didn't really experience that outside of my own mindset. I always would love to help anyone that needed help, didn't care their age, whatever. But after starting jiu-jitsu, and at our gym, it was like, wow, like there are younger people here that will actually be like, it's fine. Like you're older. Like I'm going to teach you. I'm going to coach you up. I care about you. Like I care about you being good at this. You know what I mean? And like Logan's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chad.
You know what all this comes back to? What do we talk about a lot, Terry? Atmosphere of the atmosphere of the gym that has been created and upheld over the years.
Yep.
It's not like that everywhere. I mean, not all jiu-jitsu is created equal. And not all gyms are. And that's, not the,
No, but it's a testament to you. And we've talked about Mr. Hyman and the culture that he created when he started this gym. And it has bled into the proper way to you and Pete and you then pass it on to Craddock and Scarborough and Steve and the guys who are black belts and, Stinson, obviously, and Logan and Brian and Parsons. And, I'll leave a ton of guys out, obviously. Yeah. But it's facts. It's ingrained in our gym. Like that is the number one thing when you walk through. When you walk through as a new person, if anyone's out there listening to this show right now and you're local and you're like, man, I want to try this. I don't know. I guarantee you will walk into this gym and you will be embraced and cared about and loved more than you would think that doing what we're doing. We're not going to be like, hey, we're going to kill you and destroy you and hurt you and send you home. we're going to come in and be like, no, man, like that's embrace you, because atmosphere, and Chad has spoke to this at high volumes. It's the number one thing at East Coast Martial Arts. Atmosphere is
everything. I got a message this week from Luke Burke. He's a white belt at our gym. He used to teach with me at Massillon. He was a history teacher. He got out of it because he's doing his own thing with ministries as a youth pastor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Church. Yeah. But he decided that he wanted to do that full time. Well, he just randomly texted me a picture of his, he got his first stripe.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It started last spring, and he was so fired up about it. And,
he wants to compete now too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He needs to do it.
Yeah.
That's nerve wracking. The whole competing thing.
It's different, man.
I'm nervous about competing at blue belt, but I'm gonna do it.
At least for new people, it's hard to get them ready on what to expect, right? Especially at white belt. It's
at white belt. It's rough.
I just said the other night to somebody, I'm like, some people, fighters, MMA guys they'll get butthurt when there's jiu-jitsu is not a fight. Why are you calling it a fight? I'm like, have you watched two white belts go at it? It's a fight, right?
It's a
facts.
Fight.
I mean, they are gripping the gi and let's go. Like, so it's really hard it's hard to create that atmosphere in the gym, and that's comp class does help. So I'm trying to get some of these guys that have picked my brain about competing. I'm like, you have to come to comp class. You have to get the conditioning, and what I want to bring back during the evening. Remember when I was doing the match of the night?
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring that back for those guys, because it's like, hey, me and Terry can roll off to the side, but if me and Terry roll in front of everybody with a timer going, it's going to change, right?
It changes the atmosphere.
It changes everything. People are watching me, and now I have a set amount of time that I have to get after it. So
I remember my first tournament I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
I think about a minute into it, we got kind of off to the side. The referee was pulling us back into the middle, and I just could not breathe. So I think I spent like a minute just holding my breath,
like holding on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it's like I mean, it's I've never felt that way before in my life. It's like I held my breath for a minute.
Forever. You feel like it, like the whole time.
And you got to learn how to breathe and learn how to calm down and all that good stuff, and not just grab a grip and just hang on to it until
it's more I think it's more remembering to breathe, not learning how to.
You
just remember.
You panic and freak out, like you hold on. Like I remember I mean, I used to love doing pull-ups and stuff. I had really good hand strength and forearm strength. I could hold on forever. And I would just like, man, I couldn't do like pull-ups after I started doing jujitsu, because like my arms hurt so bad. And Chad was like, you're holding on too tight. It was like, relax, like you got to relax. And, obviously over time I learned that. And now, I have good hand strength, but I can switch and it doesn't bother me, so on and so forth. But that's what you do when you're new to it. You're like, hold on. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. And this is all I know is strength. I'm really strong and I can hold on to you, I probably should be breathing right now because I'm probably going to pass out soon. like that happens.
I'll never forget that feeling. And ever since then, I try to remind myself to breathe, but you're right, Chad. That like last year when I did that white belt tournament, they threw me in there with the young guys.
Yeah.
And those guys were coming out hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It was a fight.
You have to be, I've been saying in class a lot recently, like a little bit of violence is okay, right? Like you have to prepare yourself for that. And not to go to hurt anybody, but when you go to compete, like you have to be okay with that, with something happening, because that guy, if he gets you an arm bar, he's going to try to break your arm.
Yeah, he is.
He's not just, he's going to try to break your arm. So
he's not slightly pulling it back like in training.
No.
Or if they go for a choke or whatever, and they're trying to get that lapel under your neck.
They're grinding your chin, grinding your face.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. What Nicky Rod said, anything below the eyes is the neck.
Oh.
Right.
And if you look at it, I mean, many times where Guys will hook. They'll hook that chin. They'll reach under that chin if you got one and just yank that chin up as hard as they can in order to get that lapel in. You just see someone's head snap back because they're holding their neck muscles as strong as they can, and someone's just prying it.
I've seen Jay Stu compete and actually lose chunks of his beard on the mat
from guys ripping at it
from just getting, trying to, it's go time.
That's our hobby. That's our hobby.
That's it, man.
I know. And we talk about it on this show. Obviously, we try to convince everyone we come in contact with, or anyone that ever asks me. I'm always like, you got to come to the gym.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get my wife to do it. I think jiu-jitsu is, I think everybody should be mandatory. Everybody should do jiu-jitsu. I really do.
I believe the majority of the people that would be willing to step in and step on the mat in a good atmosphere gym would not leave. They would be like, wow, I'm so glad I heard someone talk about this and wanted to go see what it's all about, because it's going to change your life. You're going to think differently. You're going to act differently. You're going to treat people differently. Your body's going to feel differently. Yeah. It's the greatest thing.
The world would be a better place.
The world would be a much better place. You would not stress the small things, and you probably wouldn't get upset with people over stupid stuff that mean nothing. Nope. It would be.
It's funny because everybody wants to be the tough guy, but when you know jiu-jitsu, or you don't want to fight, you don't want to be an artist, you don't want to do all that. It's stupid, so
you're like, I do this enough. I don't need to prove to you that you know nothing at all. Like, I go with people that actually train in this, so you just scream, yell at me all you want. I'm gonna go home and enjoy my life. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, it's fine. So good. Well, my man, we got you for almost an hour. So what's the future hold for the Trox man? Like, what's going down? What are you going to do? You can keep teaching, keep coaching? What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, I recently got out of coaching this year.
I didn't know if you were going to talk about it or not. I didn't want to put you on the spot and ask you. I wasn't going to ask you.
No, I think everybody knows.
Does everybody know? Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm taking a step back to focus on my family, and you go through 22 years of working 7 days a week and giving everything you got to a football program and other kids, which is great. I have no regrets, and now it's time to invest in my boys. They're going to be out of school soon, and I want to spend more time with them and my wife. And so I decided that I'm going to step away for a little while. I'm still going to teach. I still teach.
Sure.
Still love teaching and being around kids and helping kids, and that's kind of my passion. I really enjoy being around young people and trying to help them and teach them and mentor them and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Because kids nowadays, and any days, they need positive people around them.
They need good men like yourself.
Yeah.
And so leading them, helping them.
Yeah. So I'm still doing that and ramp up my training in jiu-jitsu and continue training jiu-jitsu.
Next thing you know, Chad, he'll be like, hey, can I get the cot out? Sleep back there in the back. And
he'll be a lot.
You're like, wait, I thought you gave this up. No, I'm just kidding.
If my body could handle it, I'd train every day.
I know.
But continue to lift with Stu in the mornings, and I do CrossFit 3 days a week, and try to do jiu-jitsu 3 days a week, and I'm gonna try to stay on that schedule. Maybe ramp it up a little more in the summer when I got some time during the day, some noon classes, morning classes. But
good.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of teaching and doing jiu-jitsu and enjoying my family.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, I like that. Were you gonna say something, Chad?
I was just gonna say I'm glad I'm not as old as you guys complaining about.
Yeah, he does it. He says this all the time. He's older than both of us. But, he says this all the time. He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so.
He also has weird grips too. Like it's unbelievable. Like you think, all right, I can get his hands off of me, and it's
Chad will grip you.
Very frustrating, Chad.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll grip on purpose to make you think about if that grip is actually a grip for a purpose or a grip to mess with.
Well, I was going to say, we talked about grips a little bit ago, and grip, everybody thinks you have to grip hard to have a strong grip. But like when I initially grab your collar, it's not a strong, aggressive grip. It's strong when I need it to be strong, right? It's like knowing when to do that, but it's aware. Yeah. But I tell you what, though, since I've started lifting, it's, I love it. I wish I would have, it's that whole wish. I wish I would have lifted sooner and stuff, but I love it,
he's an
man.
addict. Jared. He's
Well,
an addict.
I'm 2 days a week, so I'm not an addict, but
You're an addict for your age.
The reason why I love lifting.
Yeah.
The reason why I love lifting is I think, obviously I like to squat heavy and, and see the weight go up and do all that. It's fun. But also I think that's the reason why I do fairly well with not getting injured. I shouldn't say this, but knock on wood, I haven't had any injuries. I'm 44 years old, and I think lifting weights has really helped me with that in my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to start.
Not necessarily be able to throw people around and that kind of stuff. It's more about, because it's all technique in jiu-jitsu. It doesn't matter how much I squat or bench, but I think keeping my joints healthy and those little nagging injuries, I really don't get them because I lift weights consistently.
And Chad, we just talked about that with Dante Leon. We just did a show with Dante Leon, an amazing professional grappler, really, really good at 155 pounds. And he has a great workout regimen that he does on the regular, and he
West Side, right?
Yeah. He credited, that to being injury free. And Chad agreed, like he had his first real injury ever, his knee. Chad had a hurt knee. Yeah. And like he already feels stronger by getting into this program that he's getting into and doing really well at it. And I have credited, I'm like, you got to work out. Like you want to get through an injury or you want to not be injured, then prepare your body to be battle tested, to get into jiu-jitsu or anything. Like, listen, man, you want to not get injured, then work out, do something. Don't just come home, lay on the couch, do nothing. Well,
it's a combination and lifting weights. And then sleep and recovery is very important.
Sleep and recovery is huge.
And nutrition. Those three things, if you lift and then you take care of your body by sleeping well and recovery and then eating properly, getting plenty of protein and that kind of thing.
Getting your right macros.
Not a bunch of sugar and all that stuff. Stay away from that stuff. I think that, it really helps you stay healthy through jiu-jitsu.
It does, man. Definitely. For sure. Definitely. Well, Jarrett Troxler, thanks so much, man, for hanging out with us. Appreciate you greatly, man. God bless you and your family and everything that you're doing.
I'm just Chad Barrett. He joked in the gym the other night that he was going to put subtitles under. My southern accent.
Yeah, I told him we put subtitles up.
So I almost said, when you're like, I'm from North Carolina, I almost interrupted you and said, well, listen, everyone that's listening right now, they know that.
Yeah.
He's either from the South somewhere, but like that's not changed. Jarrett is Jarrett. Like this is his accent voice. Like we know it and love it. It's who he is. I would
because the other night he told me we just wanted him on the show to fill the hillbilly demographic. Right? You see that Southern hillbilly on the show.
yeah. Because maybe Southerners don't do jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I think they do. Kenny Kim was there from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hey, do me a favor, Jared. Is there anything you want to tell anybody? You want to shout it out? Platforms, how to get at things, how to check out people, anything that you want? Jared's like, no. He's just like looking at me. If you guys don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, you got to go to because his face is great.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Stu, check out the Warpath stuff, I guess. And obviously this podcast is fantastic.
Thank you.
But no, just go train jiu-jitsu. That's what you want people doing, and that's it. I don't have anything going on right now as far as that kind of stuff.
Maybe you do. You have family, and you're living great, and you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, but I'm talking like platforms.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't have a YouTube channel or anything.
You should. Maybe you should.
I don't know.
You could teach some people a thing or two. Trust me, don't ever underestimate your ability to give information, because we talk about this on the show. Like in private, Chad and I'll talk, like information just isn't given to people anymore on a organic, humble level. You know what I mean? Like that's what our podcast is.
Well, I do appreciate you guys, and especially Chad. Chad's been an awesome coach for me, and East Coast is a great place to train. Great atmosphere, Pete, and all our coaches, all our guys that help out. And so it's a great place. And, I appreciate Chad taking me in. And like he said, I didn't start at East Coast, but, I'm definitely all in now. So it's been a great
family
place
now,
to train.
brother. Yep. Family now for sure.
Jarrett was just like you when he started, Terry. I'd be like, get on your feet, Jarrett. We can't pass on our knees. Get up. Get up.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Now I'm pretty decent at X.
No, you are.
Like,
100%, dude.
You think about it now. Like if you're ever down, like on your knees and like,
oh, I just get up.
Go like
Yeah.
instantly you stand up and
it.
you're like, no. I'm not going to just try to pass from this, like I need to stand up and get by this cat. Like I'm faster on my feet than I am my knees. Took me a little while to figure that out.
As soon as somebody opens their guard, I'm popping up.
Yeah. Getting up right away. Yep. It's awesome. Great stuff, man.
Cool.
We'll keep training, brother.
It was a habit.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's a huge habit. Like
you feel safe. You feel safe on your knees. You feel stable, like, but yeah.
I told a kid last week that I was sitting there taking a break. I was listening, sitting on the pole, and there two people were rolling, and he was like not even in closed guard. He was a little bit out, but he was on his knees. And I was like, you can't pass from your knees. You got to stand up. I'm like, this is not helping you at all. I was like, stand up. Like do X pass. Like, I know you've been here for a few weeks, Chad, even in warm-ups, like, X pass is our bread and butter at our gym. And it's a flawless system, in my opinion. It works all the time. You just got to know how to do it like the right way and which way. And obviously there's different.
The only time it doesn't work for me is when like Logan lets me X pass him and then he just arm bars me.
Like he has an agenda. He's like, well, I baited you. And it's like, sweet, I got the pass. And then he's like,
well, anytime I get a pass on one of those guys, I know something's up.
Right. Yeah. When
we might have to get Logan on the show, Terry, to defend himself.
I know we've
there's a few people
Logan a lot on this show. Yeah. Because he listens regularly. Him and his dad do. Great people. Obviously love them both a ton. Been a bit of inspiration for me in my life, and obviously, coaching me up and helping me all the time, like yourself, Jarrett. So it's gay. Like I said a million times, man, you come to our gym, you're going to get people that actually want you to be great at this. They're not just going to try to beat you up and make you suffer. You're going to suffer because it's part of jiu-jitsu. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter. No, everyone does it. Like every single person that walks through the door, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to embrace suffering in doing it, but you're also going to be 10 times. Yep. It brace the suck, but you're going to be 10 times better for it going forward in everything you do in your life. So go train jiu-jitsu, guys, and listen to 100%. Our podcast and tell everyone about it. Because we're back, baby. Episode 108. Is this 107? 107
or 8, yeah.
Yeah. We're gearing up. We've been doing well. We've been recording a lot, Jarrett. So thanks again, man.
That's awesome. That's good. I enjoy listening to it.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right, gentlemen. You guys, until next week, everyone out there listening, man, we appreciate you guys greatly. Support everyone that we mentioned on the show. Go out there, support your local jiu-jitsu gyms if you're not local. And if you are local, please stop in East Coast Martial Arts. Hit one of us up. Jared, myself, Chad, people that we mentioned will take you under our wing. We'll help you out any way we can in order to get you guys in and get you acclimated to what we do, and come and love it and embrace the suck. Until next week, my friends, we will see you later.